Hey there, stars, hello, citizens. Did you miss us? Because we missed you. It has been a hot minute since Crayle and I have been able to get together. Life has been crazy, but we're coming together to finish out, for now, our food series. I ended up making the last of the three recipes that we chose with Crayle's last visit, which, oh my gosh, was 5 months ago. Uh, we chose the stuffed mushroom recipe, but we didn't end up making it on Crayle's visit. I made it like the day after she went home. And we're going to talk about it after these messages from our sponsors.
La 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 la. Gilmore Sisters.
Gilmore Sisters is a Phoenix Sisters cosplay production and is hosted by the Cereal Box Network. All right, and we also have our Pokeballs by Crayle is your one-stop shop for handmade magical creations that celebrate all the Pokemon universe has to offer. Available on CrayleVanest.com. That's CrayleVanest.com, and possibly coming to a con near you. How you doing, Crayle?
Oh, I'm all right. I was just thinking how it's kind of appropriate that you had to make the mushrooms without me, because there's an episode after the very first time Friday night dinners get canceled because Lorelai pays Chilton back, and the Gilmores have a party on that Friday night. They're sitting at home being like, pizza and a movie. No, that's our fallback. And Rory calls them, and Lorelai's like, no, you're pranking me. There's no way they threw a whole party together on this short notice. And she's like, there's mushroom caps. Some guy is feeling up grandma. So, that's we're leaving you out of the party meal sometimes.
The spite party. And those mushrooms are so meaningful to Lorelai, and we will get into this. And so I'm going to try to remember. Okay, so of the three recipes that we made, the mushrooms did not turn out well, and I think it's because I didn't have Crayle there to help me as my sous chef, or vice versa, because my ADHD ass does not do recipes well. So I missed a step, and I just poured in, I think it was that I poured in the cooking wine or cooking sherry at the wrong point in the process, and then I went, oh crap. So I ended up pouring in way too much cooking sherry, which made them super, super salty. They were just inedible. Like, my husband and I could not eat them. They were awful. So these were not magic stuffed mushrooms. They were not the ones that Lorelai like composed songs about. So if you get the Unofficial Gilmore Girls Cookbook, follow the recipe to the letter. Don't cooking is you Cooking can be an art form. In this case, cooking was a science. And I failed.
I mean, you were just missing me so much. You felt guilty about enjoying those mushrooms without me, so you made them unenjoyable.
Also, the day after you leave, there's always an intense mourning period for the entire household.
Mm-hmm. I believe it. The same thing happens when you leave my house. The dogs just stare at the couch like there's no Kelly there.
Well, I haven't met your newest pupper, so we don't know how she's going to react when I have to leave.
Oh, true, we don't. But Oakley does not like it when you leave. She's just like, she was supposed to stay here forever and ever and ever.
Oh, I love Miss Oakley. She does love me hard when I'm there. Just, I feel very loved.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Oakley
a little bit too loved.
Right, when she lays on your face.
Yeah. What were you going to say about Oakley?
Oh, she has a couple of weird Paul Anka-like tendencies too that I could totally see, like, that could have been Paul Anka bits. Like, so Oakley can use mirrors, and I don't just mean she looks at herself and knows it's a reflection and not another dog. I mean, we have those like hang the mirror on the back of the door mirrors, and she will nudge a door open to where the mirror is angled so that she can lay in a sunbeam, but when she like looks forward, she can still see me in another room through the angled mirror. And it just reminds me of like when Paul Anka gets back in Lorelai's car and locks the door. And she's like, I mean, I have the keys, but how did you do that? Like, Oakley has her Paul Anka moments.
Yes. You know what? That tracks. Because you are, of all the characters, you are Lorelai.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense because my husband is Luke.
Oh my gosh. He is such a Luke. Like, completely.
Yeah. I bet neither he nor my husband, Luke, nor my husband would have messed up the mushrooms.
Nope. They would have done them perfectly.
Yeah.
So when we first started this series, we were talking about how important food is to the plot of the show, and different food based on who's making the food, where it comes from, really just emphasizes different parts of the plot. And we had talked before we started this episode, because we actually do prepare for our weird little rants. We talked about the fact that the mushrooms were something that was kind of a positive tie to home, that Lorelai, she would go to their Christmas party and wrap the mushrooms up or go to the Gilmore Christmas party even after she moved out. When she was going to those Christmas parties, she would wrap up the mushrooms and bring them home. So she would still have like a little bit of home, her original home, that she was bringing back with her to her new home. So it was just, food is a love language that goes throughout Stars Hollow, that ties all the characters together. And it's just kind of interesting that, Lorelai rejects a lot of the hoity-toity foods, but she loves those stuffed mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. And the apple tarts.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I feel like there's at least one other. The rolls. It's always funny when Lorelai stuffs food in her purse, because it's like she can't wait to leave there, but she takes like a little piece of home back to Stars Hollow with her. She's just like, no, my terms. Everything Lorelai does, she tries her best to do on her own terms. And like, obviously, sometimes she goes too far with it. One of the problems she has in almost all of her relationships is her partners tend to feel like they have to fit into her life, and she doesn't compromise any. But when it comes to how much of home she takes home with her, like, if it's food she didn't like, she won't eat it. She'll stuff it in her purse and get rid of it on the way home, like the chicken Kiev and the quail mazatlan.
Which she is crazy for both those things. Okay, I haven't had quail mazatlan, but that sounds delicious. And chicken Kiev is amazing. So Lorelai, I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for you. Like, oh no, you have to eat a gourmet dinner once a week for your parents who are desperate to spend time with you, who are not forcing you, but who are paying for your daughter's super pricey hoity-toity education. I just said hoity-toity twice in less than 5 minutes. Somebody stop me.
I assumed that the chicken Kiev wasn't bad because it's chicken Kiev. I assumed they did some like rich person gross like sauce reduction or something on it, like to try to make it fancier or whatever. And that's why the chicken Kiev was gross.
Maybe they put gold flakes in it. Rich people like to do that. And unless it's Goldschlager, that is never a good idea. No, I'm kidding. It's also a bad idea with Goldschlager. That is disgusting. Like,
okay, whose idea was it to put cinnamon and gold flakes? Like, they're like, we want you to be uncomfortable on both ends the next day, okay? Like,
and the whole idea of the gold flakes and the Goldschlager is so like cuts your throat so the alcohol gets into your blood faster, if I remember correctly, or was that just like drunk college
I think
lore?
that's just drunk college lore.
Okay. Well, either way, Goldschlager is ridiculous.
It
Gold
is
flakes and food is
ridiculous.
also gold flakes and food also ridiculous.
I mean, there are people who do it though. You can get guilt chocolates that have like the gold shavings like slightly melted into the outermost layer of the chocolate and stuff. And it's like,
That
why?
is,
That cannot possibly taste better.
it cannot taste better, cannot be healthy for you, and it is a waste of money. So, Crayle, do you have anything else to say about the mushrooms?
Not about the mushrooms specifically, but as far as like food goes in general in the show, I think I've mentioned this on air before that the actors have actually mentioned that filming those like fancy dinners was less pleasant than some of the other filming they would get to do when they all got together because they made the food look really great, but most of it tasted really nasty. And whether you swallowed it or spit it out, like it still tasted bad. And on top of that, they were constantly having to like eat and re-eat it because those
Oof.
everyone distant apart from each other at the table scenes take a really long time to shoot because you have to shoot it from one angle and then another angle. And so you've got that super stereotypical rich people, head of the table at one end, mistress at the other, and then, Lorelai and Rory on like they're on all four sides, right? And so you have to re-record sometimes like 3 or 4 times the same couple of lines or whatever to get everybody's reactions. And so if you're picking at your food the whole time, that's 3 or 4 times as many bites as what you're seeing on screen. So,
That sounds terrible.
yeah. Yep. So
Wait, so I've
imagine
never
how
actually
much you have to
actors.
imagine how much you have to gaslight yourself sitting around talking about how amazing all this food is while it just tastes nasty.
Oh my gosh. That sounds terrible. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, I don't act for a lot of reasons, but I think that might be top 5, top 10.
Oh, dang. Yeah, no thanks.
Yep.
Way too many sensory issues. All right. Well, on that note, I think that's about all. And I think um the real mushrooms were the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that I got to go on this adventure with the rest of the audience because I wasn't there for you to cook the mushrooms. So,
And I don't think I ever properly told you what happened because I was saving it for the episode. And then it took us 5 months to get together and record this episode. We have missed you all. We hope you all have missed us. And if you want to support us, go to cerealboxnetwork.com to figure out how to support the network. There's so many great shows on the network, including our other show, Cosplay Cafe. Got some awesome people on this network. Thank you all for listening. We hope you have a magical Stars